f3 by white, which is known as anti-Grunfeld Alekhine variation. Here white is preparing for e4. Knight to c3, which is known as Samish variation, and after this black castled. Okay, knight at g goes to e2 by white, which is called Bobotsov-Korchuni-Petrosian variation. Here in the next move, white will continue with bishop to e3 and maybe queen to d2 and go for long castle. Okay, so in this game everything was fine, but here white blunders by playing bishop to c4. Okay, so before understanding that why this move is a blunder, let's see that what is the best move instead of bishop to c4. Here after rook to a5, white must consider knight to d4, simply moving it out from the danger. But in this position, black can actually sacrifice his rook by rook takes c1, because after takes, black will get two minor pieces after this, and here white can continue with queen to c4, targeting this bishop. And after suppose bishop moves, queen takes b4, although black is still winning due to these strong sniper bishops, but it can be holdable for white. Okay, so in the actual game, after bishop to c4, here black played, wait, what? I can simply capture this bishop. And you can see that now white is in huge trouble because you can't capture this due to this threat. Okay, so in the actual game, after bishop to c2, and in this position Pragg resigned, because here you can see that this rook is targeting the queen, and if you defend this knight, suppose by if you defend this by the knight, simply queen takes f3, and you can see that this isolated pawn is useless for white and black is almost 3 pawns up. Let's move on to our game number 2. And in this game, okay, so yeah, so here let's see this game from black's perspective. Okay, so this game starts with h3 by white, which is known as Makogonov variation, and after this black castled. Okay, so maybe black brings back his knight to e8 because he wants to open the diagonal of this dark square bishop, as well as maybe he can push his f pawn in future. And note one thing, that here black can't capture on h4 because you can see that white rook will get up the open file, and in the next move white will play queen to g4 targeting this bishop as well as the e6 pawn, and after bishop takes g3 check, queen takes g3, now you can see the threat. But in the actual game, after bishop to d3, black blunders by playing knight to c5. This move is a blunder because now white will capture on c5, and after takes e5 targeting this bishop, after bishop to e7, queen to f3 with the idea of h5, and if black plays any another move like queen to c7, h5 trying to destroy this pawn structure, g5, and obviously you can't capture this due to this pin, and this will not work because of the queen to e4, and clearly you can see that white is much better here. But in the actual game, after knight to c5, white also missed this move, bishop takes c5, and instead he plays Okay, so everything was fine till here, but in this position, now white has to find the move queen takes f4 to and simply exchanging the queens to win this game. This is because after suppose rook at d goes to d8 with the idea of knight to e4, covering the f6 square so that this king can't run, and then rook to g8 check. I think now you understand the move order. But in the actual game, instead of exchanging the queens, here white blunders by playing rook to h1. This is a blunder because of the following moves. And obviously you can't go to d3 and d1 square due to bishop to f5 check, and white has to lose his rook. And some of you might be thinking that, bro, we can what will happen if we simply moves our king to c1, which also guards this bishop. But if you played this, now I just want you all to pause the video and try to find the crushing move which black can play in this position. The move is rook takes c2, sacrificing the rook with the same idea of bishop to f5 check, and white has to lose his rook. So that's why in the actual game, after rook to f2 check, here white decides to place his king to e3, giving up his bishop. Now after this, the best continuation is rook takes e5, and suppose if game continues, black can play rook to h2, rook to g1, targeting this pawn but simply pushing it, rook to g5 check, king to f7, takes, bishop to e6, and you can see that this position is completely equal. But guys, after rook takes c2, I don't know, might be white is low on time or maybe something else, but he blunders by rook at h goes to h8, because now black finds the best move, bishop to e6. Wow, what a move, sacrificing the bishop as well as this rook. This is because, yeah, obviously you can't capture this, otherwise you have to lose this. And in this position, Pragg decides to capture the rook but simply g2, and you can see that no one can stop this promotion. And if knight to e2, simply rook takes e2 check, and black will promote. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video. Hit that subscribe button for more because it motivates me a lot. This is your host Bison signing off. Bye bye.